Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. I hope you're having a great day, because I sure am. Because today we're reviewing a very special knife for me. This is the Bestech BowieTie. So, pretty excited about this. This is a knife that I've wanted for a long time, and I've called it kind of a grail for me. And yeah, let's see if it lives up to my expectations. There's a lot of pressure, I guess. There's a lot of pressure on. So, let's go ahead and start off with our blade length measurement. Let's bring out our ruler here. We're coming in just a hair over 3.5 inches. If we just measure that sharpened edge, we're coming in about 3 1/4. Of course, there's a little bit more sharpened edge because it does have a swoop, which increases your total length of sharpened edge. But moving on. Do our size comparisons. There's the Rat 1. And there's the Rat 2. So yeah, definitely a full-size knife. Pretty similar in size to the Rat 1 in overall length. Let's go ahead and bring out our flagship comparisons. There's our PM2. And our Benchmade Bug Out. Nice. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and bring out our Civivis because tradition dictates we must. Also, pardon if you can hear like all the traffic outside. Something I hate about living in the city. You just gotta deal with other people's noise. But yeah, there we go. And let's go ahead and round out the size comparisons by comparing it against another premium Bestech. This is the Horus. And let's bring out a knife with very similar specs. This is the Tucson Megalodon. Awesome. Speaking of specs, what are the materials we're looking at here? Well, we have a blade of M390. As you can see, it says beautiful, beautiful Bowie, as you might expect from the name BowieTie. We are a titanium bolster lock, which I love. Titanium clip, titanium backspacer, and then, help me out here, guys. Is this shred or marble carbon fiber? Focus, camera. What's going on with you? Yeah. The blade finish, let's talk about that real quick. We have satin up here on the flats. We've got a bead blast on the grind, which I think the whole world knows how I feel about bead blast at this point, but that is beside the point. Oh, we also have a nice little pivot collar. Anyways, it is running on bearings. Let's go ahead and go do some cutting, shall we? Alrighty guys, let's talk about the Bestech BowieTie. Yeah, isn't that just a sexy knife? Yeah. So, materials here. M390, Bowie blade, titanium bolster lock, shred carbon fiber. Let's go ahead and top out that action first. Flipper only, but that's all you need. Oh. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful action. It's exactly the way I want my action. Now, if I don't catch the flipper tab, it'll come down fast. Really, really, really great action. Perfection. Okay. How are the ergonomics? They're great. Back here is very comfortable. This jimping up here is good. You have this very generous choil you can choke into, and your thumb kind of rests in that up sweep in the spine. Very good ergonomics. Nothing really to complain about. I mean, you feel the lock bar a little bit, but it's a frame lock. Other than that, it's very nice. Good thickness. Nice. Very subtle contouring to the carbon fiber. But yeah, just feels really, really good. How does it carry? Let's go ahead and tilt Down, we have a interesting looking titanium pocket clip. Sorry, I couldn't resist flipping it one more time. Carries about like that. And the pocket clip is not my favorite aspect of this knife. It's a little bit grabby, but it works just fine. It's kind of like most titanium pocket clips. Pretty meh. The knife itself, you can get your hand in there. It does have a little bit of a pocket pecker, I guess, but you know, it's not the smallest knife, but for such a crazy big blade, it folds up into a really nice compact package. Okay, let's do some cutting. I did not get a behind the edge reading on this guy yet. I will put that on the screen. It's a flat grind. Whoa, just wanted to get away from me. Works just fine through our thick double wall cardboard. Good job there. Let's go ahead and grab us a little bit of rope. Very nice. Go ahead and do a push. 1, 2, 3. It did pretty average. It did about like most knives do on that test. Not, you know, anything spectacular, but definitely plenty good. Where'd our pool noodle go? There he is. All right, let's see how well Bestech did on their grinding. Ooh! Ooh, mama! Look at that. Nice, thin little Cheerios. Felt excellent going through. Very clean and consistent cutting. Good job on that blade. Bestech. All right, let's go talk about this sexy boy at the table. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get right into the meat and potatoes of what I'm liking and not liking about the Bestech BowieTie. So, number one, I love the looks. Call me shallow, but that's what first attracted me to this knife. If you guys know me, you know I love the Bowie blade shape. I think it just looks gorgeous, and there's no exception here. I love the marbled carbon fiber. I love the bolstered look. I love bolsters. And I love that it's a bolster lock. One of my biggest pet peeves with frame locks is when they don't match on both sides. You know, you have a show side and then you have a lock side. I don't really like that. I like this. See, we get carbon fiber on both sides and it looks just, it just looks good. It's gorgeous. Really, really like that a whole lot. The bolster here, let's get in a little closer. As you can see there, this titanium is stonewashed. I think it looks great. I love the pivot color. Yeah, you can see how it's catching the light like that. Like they've got it kind of jeweled around there, so it just catches the light pretty well. It's really cool because it's just gray, like it kind of matches the bolster, but the way it's got those little things cut into it. Oh, and the pivot too. It just, I don't know, that looks cool. Does it not look cool? I think it does. I love it. But yeah, looks on this knife, 10 out of 10. This is one of the most beautiful looking knives I've ever seen. Hands down. Next, I feel like the M390, or I like the blade. Well, we'll just go with the blade first. I like that they have a finger choil cut into the blade, but this is a very nice slicey blade. The behind the edge thickness isn't anything crazy. It's a flat grind. It's about 22 thousandths behind the edge, which isn't like crazy thin, but it's done well. The grind is done well, and this is something I've talked about a lot. As long as you don't have anything wonky with your edge, or you know, if your grind is done consistently from here to the edge, your knife will cut well. That's just kind of a fact. I mean, I reviewed lots of cold steels. Some of them are 30 thousandths behind the edge, but cold steel does their grinds in such a way that the knife will still cut. So, I don't know. Behind the edge thickness, some people hold it at a higher regard than others. Whatever. But onto this blade, like I said, it cuts well. That 3.5-inch blade length, that's my preferred size for EDC. I like the jimping up here. Not too aggressive, but you definitely can feel it. Nice pokey tip. Great amount of belly for slicing. A little bit of straight. It's just a very good edge. I really do like Bowie style blades. I know a lot of people don't like them because you can't really get to your utility cuts. And with this one, you actually can. Like, you don't have to tilt your arm up too much. The way the handle kind of pistol grips back here, it kind of tucks in like that. You can get to the tip. You know, utility cuts for me, I definitely appreciate a knife that does utility cuts, but it's not a huge deal for me if a knife isn't the best utility cutter. So yeah, I like the blade. And the M390 seems to be heat treated very well. I've been using this knife a lot. The edge retention has seemed really good to me, and let's focus in here. Where is it? There we go. Focus up. Focus. And the edge has started to take some chips, as you can see there, from my use. Which, for me, is a common issue with M390. I find if it's heat treated well, which this seems to be, for some reason, I just tend to chip M390 a lot. So I will definitely be giving this guy sharpening, probably after this video is done. But yeah, the edge retention's been great. Stainlessness has been great. M390 is definitely a high-end steel. And yeah. All right, let's move on to some of the finer details real quick. I like they have this little area back here that's cut out. That's for your finger to land on after you flip it. So, you know, it's a little bit soft, and yeah, it works good. You flip, and my finger lands there, and it's nice and soft and comfy, and it's good. I like what they did with the lock bar here, with these little cutouts and the little milling in there. It's pretty good. It gives you nice access in there, and it just works really, really well. We already talked about the bolster lock, but I really like that. You know, you don't get the ugliness of like a lock bar cutout on the outside. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a whole bunch. The backspacer is fitted nicely. I like the texturing on there. It's kind of cool, but very nice and flush. No complaints there. I feel like the hardware is pretty minimal. These are T6s, which maybe not so great, but I do feel like the hardware is pretty minimal. They definitely could have, you know, gone overboard if they wanted to. But yeah, perfectly centered. It stayed that way. Lockup is good. Just a lot to like here. And now let's talk about the action. The action on this knife is exactly the way I want it. Some people, you know, everyone has kind of their own preferences for action. And I guess today we're going to take a deep dive into my preferences. But the flip, the detent, very good. It's very hard to miss a flip on this knife. It's a flipper only, you know, so for some people that really detracts from the fidgetability. But for me, the flip is satisfying enough that I don't really mind that much. It's very, very good. And the action on the close. You can do it slow like that. It's not a guillotine. If I don't catch it on my thumb though, let's see if I can do this without cutting myself. It'll just go all the way. Nice and kind of like free falling, but there's also a degree of control. I like it. I think the sounds it makes are amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It makes me happy. And I'm pretty sure I could make it even smoother if I really wanted to. I mean, I've been using this. It's been a while since I've lubed this up. It's been, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Let's see if we can drop just a little bit of KPL in there and see what happens. Lockup right now is completely and totally solid, which I love. Got a buy me a new bottle of KPL here pretty soon. Whew. Yeah. There we go. It was running a little dry. Look at that. Love it. Okay, all right. Enough about the action. Let's go ahead and talk about the ergonomics. The knife looks a little bit weird ergonomically. You have kind of some waviness going on. In the hand, though, oh, it's very comfortable. It really is. We already talked about the jimping. I like the jimping. You have this choil you can choke up into, and then the blade swoops up here, and that gives you a nice spot for your thumb. Yeah. A very comfortable knife. Very, very comfortable. I like it a lot. The clip disappears in my hand. The only problem I have really is if I'm really bearing down. Sometimes my pinky gets rubbed a little bit on this part here. You can see right there if I'm like really bearing down. But, you know, other than that, the ergonomics feel phenomenal. And I really appreciate that because sometimes frame locks don't have the best ergonomics, right? But yeah, really, really solid. So I think that's about everything I like about the knife. Let's go ahead and talk about what I don't like. The pocket clip. This is probably my least favorite part of the knife. Not a big fan of the pocket clip. It looks a little bit, to me, it looks a little bit like it doesn't fit the knife. I think they were trying, you know, they gave this little swoop here to match, you know, what the handle does there, but I don't know, for me it just doesn't, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the clip. And if functionally the clip is pretty average. I mean, it'll hold the knife in your pocket. It doesn't bother me in the hand, which is good, but, you know, it is a little bit grabby in and out, so overall the pocket clip is just kind of meh to me. But yeah, T6 hardware is definitely, you know, a meh, but it's not like Bestech's the only one doing that. Doesn't make it right, but you know, it's not their sin alone. The lanyard hole to me feels like it was just kind of thrown in there. I think it would have been a lot better to have the lanyard hole in the back spacer, but that's just me. And other than that, there's really not a whole lot I don't like. So let's go ahead and move on to my final conclusions. So, price. This comes in, there's a couple different versions of this knife. They range, depending on where you get them and what version you get, about $249, $250 to about $265. Is it worth that? So this is the Tucson Megalodon M390 titanium carbon fiber. I got this knife for $135. But that's Tucson. They're kind of known for being just ridiculously generous with their pricing. So, do I think this knife was worth what I paid? I do. It does feel very premium. And, you know, it better feel like it was worth what I paid because I don't often buy knives in this price category. I really have to save up. I sell stuff. You know, it's a kind of a big step for me to buy something over $100. And this is much over $100. But I do feel happy with my purchase. I do feel really good about it. I love the construct. I feel like the knife is very well built. It also feels pretty lightweight. I didn't really talk about that. There's not like any milling in there, hardly at all, except up there. But it still feels very lightweight, probably because they took out a lot of titanium for the carbon fiber inserts. It feels very classy while also feeling robust and capable. It's just a knife I really enjoy carrying. I really enjoy using. And it's something that, you know, kind of makes me feel good when I carry it. You know, that kind of pride of ownership feeling, I guess. You know, it kind of fits my whole design aesthetic with the clip point blade and everything and the bolster lock. But I really do like it. Can I recommend it? Yes, 100%. And if you like the looks of it, I don't think you'll be disappointed. So that's going to be it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Gideon. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.